I would like to welcome you to the offices of Mystic Investigations. MysticInvestigations.com. It's a site where the paranormal investigators, Mystic Investigations, document their adventures. They're the ones that keep you safe from such things as werewolves, anti-leprechauns, Mr. Wonderful. Today, I thought I would introduce you to the people who are keeping you safe. Let's go. Hi, everybody. So, while you don't need to see the first part to understand this video, this is technically the second part of a video that I am doing about mysticinvestigations.com. So if you want to see part 1 of this video, it'll be linked below, also probably up in the top corner. This video, we're going to be getting into the actual paranormal investigation team that runs Mystic Investigations. So let's go. Every member of the Mystic Investigation team has their own profile where you can find out their name, their occupation, their entire life story, straight from the birth. And we're going to dive into them now. So this is the web, and you can see it's pretty traditional. At the end, he puts a little note. Top executives have secretaries. We don't go for the politically correct executive assistant or administrative assistant. You're a secretary. If it's good enough for the Secretary of State, then it's good enough for you. Deal with it, punk. So we'll start with the president, Xavier Remington. Xavier was born on March 17th at exactly 7:07 a.m. See, I told you, birth stories. Just love the idea that they were like, okay, so we're gonna make a section of the site where people can learn about who our team is. So really we just need a bio for everybody. And everyone collectively was like, here's my entire life story. My trauma. Wait, he's from Wisconsin? Midwest. It breeds supernaturalists. Look at me. You think I came from California? He also has so many interests. He writes poetry? He's not just executive of a paranormal team. He's also got a soft side to him. Executive Vice President Drake Alexander. Now, Drake Alexander here is actually a vampire. Drake is extremely powerful due to being a 5th generation vampire. A Nepo vampire, some might say. Drake Alexander was born in the Highlands of Scotland in the 13th century AD. His father was a serf, murdered by his feudal lord. Drake later murdered the unjust lord out of revenge. Drake! You can't put that in your bio? They're really giving away too much in these. For 7 centuries, he has explored the earth and experienced extraordinary things that the average person could never hope to fathom. Flexing on the average person there, Drake. Not all of us inherited our vampirism. He recently suffered complete amnesia to the point of not even exhibiting the symptoms of being a vampire, thereby proving the power of mind over matter. Does that suggest that all vampires are just kind of choosing to be a vampire? Like you just point at someone and you say, you're a vampire. And you say it so convincingly that they're like, oh shit, I might be a vampire. I'm really aching for some blood right now. This amnesia occurred when he was literally blown up along with an alien vessel. What? That's so much to take in. If you get blown up, it's over, right? Undead or not, you've been turned into a bunch of pieces. Call him Humpty Dumpty because you can't put that back together again. Also, another feature of the bios that I really love is that each member features a card. Look at Drake's flexing on the working man. Associate Vice President Robert Edmonds. Ghostbuster. Rob got involved with ghost hunting after his sister was abducted by a poltergeist. Rob was 10 and his sister was 4. Both of them and their parents went to a haunted house for some Halloween fun. It was open 24 hours on Halloween. The building was really haunted. They had the misfortune of being in the house at midnight on Halloween, hoping for some good, clean, scary fun. What they got was a night of horrors. What were they doing, taking a 4-year-old to a haunted house at midnight? I'm sorry, I'm trying not to victim blame here, but those parents should have thought that through a little more, you know? Midnight is when they roll out the poltergeists. Rob's family, along with the other guests, and several costumed employees were trapped in the house until dawn as the angry centuries-old poltergeist materialized and turned the house into a maze of terrors. The youngest child in the house was of the ultimate allure to the demonic entity due to her innocence. She was lured into a magical mirror by an image of a lovable live-action teddy bear, and Rob witnessed 2 gruesome hands exit the mirror and pull his sister inside with a flash of sinister green light. She was never seen again. Rob still has hope he will find his sister one day. He feels she must still be alive in some higher dimension, for if the poltergeist wanted her dead, he would have just done it in the house rather than kidnapping her. I really don't want to be the bearer of bad news here, but I feel like when a poltergeist grabs you and drags you into a mirror, it is with the intention to kill you. I don't think the ghost is like, hold on, let's get this over with here. It's a safe space, a place we're both familiar with, we can both be comfortable in, and and I'm just gonna go for it. Senior Vice President, Rebecca Abernathy, demi-mermaid, and witch. Oh my god, Rebecca's is so long. Even her hobbies. Rebecca! She is known for her famous Black Friday escape ads. What is that? Okay, so I read this, and I guess she had a literal magic battle at a store. And how she ends it is she makes a magical spear, and she says, "Get in, ladies." And they take their items and they float away. And that's how I want me and the girls to be traveling from now on. Vice President Julia Hathaway, human with psychokinetic powers. Mother became a psychic after she was struck by lightning while pregnant with Julia. Is that how it works? If you get struck by lightning, do you just get powers? Cryptozoologist, Dr. Ashley Abercrombie. More like Aber-zombie, because she's a zombie. If you're like me and you were wondering, how can one be a demi-zombie? It's because her father got bit by a zombie and then immediately made love and impregnated his wife. Yeah, she was born half a zombie. Her father is dead though. Powers. She can halt her heart muscle and breathing in her lungs for short periods of time. Any competent doctor would consider her clinically dead. An incompetent one, however, research assistant Seth Morgan, werewolf. Seth came from a poor single-parent family. Right out of high school, Seth started working as a gravedigger. Seth became a werewolf on the night of the full lightning moon on August 2nd, 2012, as he dug a grave at about 2 a.m. As he worked, he suddenly heard an unholy snarl from behind him as a huge, horrific, hairy monster ran towards him. It was a werewolf. Well, did he try staring at it really hard? Once a werewolf spots you, there is little point in running away. You must simply have the guts to face it down and hopefully scare it away. Seth was mortally wounded, but a combination of his new virus and our mystical remedies healed him within 3 days. He was in deep denial about what happened. He refused to let us lock him away on the next full moon. I don't think he should have a choice. If he's a werewolf and he's in denial, you lock him up.
Dude, I'm not a werewolf.
But you're literally bleeding out from a werewolf wound.
It was just a really large dog.
And you're growing hair like really fast.
I have overactive hair glands. What? I get it from my dad's side of the family.
You also kind of smell like a wet dog. Actually, I can attest to that. Zach usually does smell like a wet dog.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you say you aren't, then we'll just have to take your word for it. You're gonna find out the hard way. But won't that endanger the lives of the entire town that we're sworn to protect? He's gonna find out the hard way. Our cryptozoologist, Ashley Abercrombie, went to his house to bring him in, since the rest of our team was busy dealing with other werewolves running loose around town. He transformed and severely mauled Ashley, who appeared dead. Some months later, he started dating Ashley. When did you guys know you were in love? God, I felt it when, I think when he severely mauled me.
Ew. How are you still alive?
Hey, have you seen my arm?
Any competent doctor would have declared you dead by now.
Oh, I'm a demi-zombie.
How do you become a demi-zombie?
My mom had sex with a zombie.
Listen, I know I've mauled you 3 times now, but I really have a thing for people who are tough. Maybe once this full moon is up, we could go out to dinner where you're not the meal.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, 3rd time's the charm, right? Oh, you're actually kind of hotter as a wolf. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pass. But thank you. I'm gonna keep looking for my arm. Wow. I didn't even want to maul you.
Elizabeth Weatherly, human. She was born in Southampton, England in 1888 to a life of poverty. She was able to educate herself with stolen books. She had a vivid imagination and loved reading mystery novels. She developed some keen investigation skills and eventually discovered that her boyfriend was in fact a murderer. When confronted, he revealed his dad was none other than Jack the Ripper. If your dad's a serial killer, do you become a murderer? Is it like a genetic thing you inherit? Also, girl, you know who Jack the Ripper is. And you've told no one. She escaped him and managed to stow away on the Titanic. She was about to die on the sinking Titanic when my time-traveling brother saved her after they had gotten to know each other a few days on board. I think Elizabeth has the craziest story because imagine you're about to die on the Titanic and then a time traveler pulls you out from it and now you're on an investigative team hunting vampires. At least the others were cryptids. Elizabeth is just some girl. And a girl from the 1910s, no less. I mean, the concept of a smartphone probably could melt her brain, let alone the idea of a demigod. Zach Powers, Superhuman, bionic human, cyborg, chief technology officer. Do you think that they choose the career path that they are in, or they just have to pick something that relates to what they are? So, what are your qualifications for working at the Blood Bank of America? Seriously? His net worth. Anyways, he keeps it a secret so the gold-digging chicks don't take advantage of him. Zach, you're a teenager. What gold-digging chicks are you talking about here? Amanda in PE? Oh my god, he had a Yahoo Answers. He's just like me for real. This was an answer he was so proud of, he put it up as his best answer. If Mrs. Claus files for divorce, will Santa still manage to organize Christmas? Yeah, like any woman would divorce one of the most powerful paranormal beings on Earth, along with being the symbolic leader of goodness on this planet. Not to mention the fact that a divorce would nullify the magic that makes her immortal. She'd start aging and would be dead within 50 years or so. Even if she was dumb enough to do that, Santa still has hundreds of elves and a son to help him out as well. Also, he'd probably go on vacation to hook up with a new, younger chick. Younger woman?
Santa's a ho ho ho.
And he got 5 stars, and the asker said, "You are so right." Anyway, Zach's definitely an incel. Least favorite. Hunter Jackson, sergeant. When sufficiently enraged, he has brief bursts of adrenaline-induced superhuman strength brought about by the sheer force of his human will. So he was a prior Navy SEAL, and on his profile, I imagine he specifically requested to have this video added. Why you won't survive Navy SEAL training. Just to really emphasize how tough this guy is. Receptionist, Barbara Gerber. Barbara doesn't get a big bio. Her bio is just, took over as the new receptionist in early 2011. Barb has previous experience working in the paranormal investigation field. Barbara is my favorite. This one recording of her, she sounds like such a sweet woman.
Hello, this is Mystic Investigations. How can I direct your call?
And nothing better happened to her. Here's an article of one of their adventures that they documented. Frightful 4th of July night fight. Unfortunately, evil never sleeps. Despite the Mystic Investigations team having both July 3rd and July 4th off, we remain on alert. We've all grown accustomed to relaxing and having fun, while simultaneously remaining in a healthy mode of observant alert. What is the work-life balance for this team? Because they have the day off, but they're also expected to go to these events together and also remain on alert. The serene sunset saturated the darkening skies over the luminary lake, the vibrant hues reflected off the placid waters, creating a deceptive mirror. Beneath the beauty of the surface, there are sometimes sinister supernatural organisms lurking in wait for their next meal. I just like that he takes a moment to appreciate the nature. Yeah, I'm about to detail you some pretty horrific things that happened, but let's take a moment to appreciate this beautiful lake. Now, might I remind you that there are evil horrors lurking beneath those waters. That's why we had our mystic boat out watching the wayward waters. It was manned by our security chief, Hunter Jackson. With him was Elizabeth Weatherly. Ironically, she was saved from the 1912 Titanic disaster through time travel to our future. Everyone was on the lookout for nocturnal monsters who prey on vulnerable humans amid the chaotic cover of crowded, loud events. First and foremost, vampires. Our righteous executive vice president, Drake Alexander, is the best at detecting evil entities due to being a powerful 5th-generation vampire. Second only to him is our demi-mermaid, Rebecca Abernathy, whose keen senses allow her to detect the sinister sanguine suckers as well. Our telekinetic psychic, Vice President Julia Hathaway, can sometimes sense the dark demonic minds of the average vampire. If all else fails, hopefully a blood-curdling scream for help does the trick. I think by the time there's a blood-curdling scream, you've already failed. I don't think that's a good system to have. I mean, we could go out and seek them, or we could wait until someone screams. We could wait until someone is horrendously murdered. Not long after the blasts of explosive luminosity hit the freshly darkened skies, we heard that telltale scream of terror. We all ran to— Wait, guys, you just said that you had 3 psychics who could sense if a vampire was coming. I'm beginning to lose faith in this team. I noticed a woman hugging a man from behind. I thought they were a happy couple, until I saw her cover his mouth and pull his head back. She tilted her head into his neck. I don't think that's proof of a vampire. Maybe they're just getting a little frisky at the 4th of July show. Ooh. I whipped out my holy water squirt gun and shot her multiple times. No being horny at the 4th of July show. It's so funny to imagine the president of this investigative team whips out a squirt gun and starts shooting it at this woman. If she's not a vampire, that would be the most confusing experience of her life. The strikingly beautiful vampiress shrieked away into the woods while the man passed out from blood loss and fell to the ground, and some people started to notice the collapsed man. I said he had passed out from low blood sugar and fallen on some broken glass, cutting his neck. Would that work for someone? Like, he's hovering over this bleeding body, and he's like, don't worry guys, he just had low blood sugar, that's why he's passed out. But there is so much blood? Yeah, well, you see, when he fell, he kind of hit some glass that managed to completely slash his throat. I discarded the glass so no one else would fall on it, so don't worry. We're all good here. Ashley and Ghostbuster Rob Edmonds took the man to the hospital in the Mystic van. Not only were they hovering over a man bleeding out from his neck, now they've just kidnapped him. These people are not paying attention to their surroundings. I know that fireworks shows are engaging, but I don't think they're that engaging. Regretfully, the vampire got away as she was far faster than both Drake and Rebecca. Drake caught her scent and said she was beyond ancient. Interestingly enough, normal holy water would probably only annoy such an ancient vampire, but I used the water of melted North Pole city snow blessed by St. Nicholas himself. Plus, I added the potent anti-vampire herb vervain, along with colloidal silver. You know, he's got a full investigation team to keep afloat. I cannot blame him for wanting to get that Amazon affiliate coin. Colloidal silver is a strange one, though. Oh, it's for immune support. Well, that vampire might be fearful, but she is gonna be snatched. She's gonna be digesting that blood very well. Julia Hathaway made it to a clearing in the forest where a couple was camping. They were lying together in the dark, enjoying the stars. The couple began getting amorous when the female vampire shot out of nowhere. She whispered to herself, "I need my sweet blood to heal from this infernal holy water." The vampire eyed the couple with lust and then announced herself to the shocked duo. "I'll be joining you this evening for dinner." The man replied, what? I like that because it's like, clearly it's not dinner time. Dinner was 4 hours ago now. The vexing vampire lunged at the terrified screaming couple, but Julia directed her telekinetic powers at the vampire, sending her flying through a tree trunk, and Julia told the couple to run away. They bolted, and the amused vampire got up and sarcastically said, "Oh, you have powers. How special for you and me." Julia replied, "Why is it so special for?" The vampire shot at her beyond super fast. The ferocious female bit into Julia's neck, drinking her power-rich blood. In doing so, it would give the vampire her powers for several hours. All vampires can acquire the temporary talents of any entity if they simply consume their blood. Even human talents, such as playing a musical instrument. Guys, if a vampire drank your blood, what would they obtain? I'll go first. If a vampire drank my blood, they would probably get the ability to do this. Why do I always get the ones with the weird abilities? Just for once, I would like someone who, I don't know, knows the cure to cancer. Wow, there's so much more. I'm not gonna read the rest for you guys because every single supernatural creature you can imagine was out and about on the 4th of July. However, the one who is a Titanic survivor who was on the boat sank, and they put this song. I don't think that's very funny. The woman has trauma. There's so many sections of this site, and it varies greatly from which page you're on, because some of the pages are like from old versions of the site. So it's a rabbit hole. I found out making this video that they have a health vlog. Healthy living on a mystical planet. How America ruined bread. Why aren't there any blue vegetables? Mystic Investigations really does shed clarity on all aspects of life. There's also a Christmas blog. So let me know if for Christmas you would want me to kind of go through the Christmas blog, because let me tell you, the lore on that is dense. All right, there's Santa Claus, there's Santa Claus, there's all the elves. Apparently he has a son and he has a wife that better not leave him. And there's also my favorite part of the site, which is if you scroll to the bottom, you'll see that there is AliExpress fraud review. We signed up with AliExpress.com for some of those sweet, cheap Chinese goods after hearing about the hype. We placed 2 small orders for a total of under $10. Almost instantly, we discovered the account was disabled for unusual activity. There seems to be no remedy and no reason whatsoever. There's no way to even track the orders we made. What the hell is the matter with these dumb jackasses? That's fine. We'll just spend our money elsewhere. What morons. Avoid these scamming jokers who were too dumb to wait for us to place larger orders. Lol. Our only goal now is to get the account deleted and scrub our hands clean of their BS. I doubt they can even do that. Of course they thought you were a scam, Xavier. Don't you live in Woodland Springs, a mystical town that is not on the map of the United States? How are they supposed to ship it to you? So now we've looked through the members and we've gone on an adventure with them. Unfortunately, now that I've done all this, I must pop your bubble with this. There is a disclaimer notice. The characters, places, organizations, and events on this site, mysticinvestigations.com, are completely fictitious. However, it does say, who knows if we're required to say all of this under the alleged supernatural secrecy pact of 33 AD. Smiley face. So don't give up hope, guys. It could very well be that Xavier Remington is out there. Alright, so that's all I had for this one. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you be a part of the Kens. And give the video a like if you liked it. Leave a comment. Happy Halloween. Alright, bye.